Well, we're officially less than a week away from this rail lockout. It's a lockout and not a strike. Yeah, you're looking at the title and it's like, why is it a strike and not a lockout? Well, it's technically both, but not in the way you think. After doing some non rushing research, because I finally have the time to actually do a proper video and actually research, it is more or less found out that CN and CPKC, the companies, are doing the strike. But as for the railway workers, they're being locked out by those companies. This is also where I have to acknowledge the error I made in my last video, where I had fallen into a case of company propaganda. The research I actually did of that last video was actually from CN and CPKC's perspective, which I just said was a case of company propaganda. They weren't listing what is actually happening. So, in this video is technically a correction and a perspective of what's actually happening. To more or less shorten what I was supposed to say for this, CN and CPKC are demanding concessions that would actually not work in favor for railway workers. A quote by the Teamsters president said, "From the very beginning, rail workers have only ever sought a fair and equitable agreement. Unfortunately, both rail companies, CN and CPKC, are demanding concessions that would tear families apart or jeopardize rail safety." So basically, CN and CPKC right now are giving up proposals that Teamsters has dropped many, many times because they either don't align with something or they're just outright, well, stupid. One of these CN proposals would actually see employees on a scheduled 40-hour work week with at least a 10 or 12-hour rest period between shifts, depending on where they are. One of these other proposals was an actual whole change of how the workers would get paid. As of now, they do a mileage-based system which has been in place for decades. If this was accepted, it would change a lot. Now, with the constant proposals and then getting dropped, it ends up now CN and CPKC refusing to negotiate, and CN and CPKC also refusing to negotiate with their workers. Nice. CN even called on the federal government to intervene, and then this happened. Well, that must suck. But anyway, I'm gonna summarize it in this way of what this is about. The federal government is basically saying, fuck you, do it yourself. I'm not intervening. Screw you. Okay, that might be a little bit more harsh than what it actually is. So, in a less harsh way, the federal government is basically saying, no, I'm not going to intervene because I know you guys are going to get a solution, which won't even need me. Oh boy. Not looking so good. So to summarize all of this, CN and CPKC handing out weird proposals, Teamsters drops it, the cycle repeats until they both get fed up, which I'm pretty sure they are. They stop negotiating with their workers. CN calls on the federal government says, no, screw you guys, and we're now here. Well, there's one thing that I have to say after all of this. CN and CPKC trains will not actually stop in the middle of nowhere. They'll actually get to where they're going, most likely, or they won't even leave where they're coming from. So, for you rail fans out there, it's about to be dead subdivisions, as if I'm not a rail fan. Anyways, they have begun the process of halting some shipments in anticipation for this strike, aka lockdown, aka I don't know what to call it at this point. Both. And hopefully my package does not come by train, please. I'm just kidding, no one cares about me. Anyway, aside from that, will the strike get resolved? Well, as of the making of this video, we're 7 days out. Or 6, I think I posted this on Friday, didn't I? Anyways, we're about a week or less than a week away, so will it be a last minute thing or not? We'll just have to wait and see.